I was literally sleeping in the Walmart parking lot for like 2 months. Hey guys,
welcome back to my channel.
Fuck it.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We need to come up with like a name for y'all. Something that I could introduce y'all to. A little intro that I could do. I don't know. I need to think of something. Cause just saying hey guys, it's kind of like, everybody says that. If y'all have any ideas of names that we could call y'all, put it down below. Because I need some ideas, okay? But anyways, guys, as you can see from the title of this video, we're gonna be talking, it's gonna be a story time of when your girl, look, be homeless. I know, you wouldn't even believe, right? But yes, I was definitely homeless. I don't even know how long. I lost track of time, honestly, when I was out there, like it was war or something. It was bad. I wanna say maybe like 2 months. 2-3 months, a month and a half, something like that. It was a couple months, okay? And it was long enough. I never want to be homeless again, and I never want to be homeless for longer than that. That was a long enough time. It was a struggle. Let's go ahead and let's start from the beginning. I moved to Colorado. We weren't homeless at first. We were not homeless at first, but it was hard. Again, if you don't know, I was living in Colorado for about 5 full years, but almost 5 years. And yeah, I loved it in Colorado, but in the beginning, it was definitely tough. I was with the person I was in a relationship at the time. So the person actually moved to Colorado first, and I was down to kind of do anything. Again, I'm like young, I'm like 18, 19, so I'm ready to like get away from family and just do whatever. So I was down, I was totally down. So yeah, so they moved to Colorado first, and then I ended up going after. They got settled there first. Again, they got an apartment, they got a job, all this stuff. And then I went and I moved into the apartment with them. I had a job when I was in Florida, and I was working at a grooming salon, like animal grooming salon, but it was like that was my first job ever. So when I moved to Colorado, it kind of took me a while to get a job. I didn't really have a lot of experience. I didn't know how to do a lot of things. So yeah, it took me a while to get a job. So I think that they were struggling a lot with bills and stuff. So we ended up getting evicted from that apartment. When we got evicted from that apartment, we ended up just kind of like staying on friends' couches and stuff like that. We ended up settling down in some friend's apartment, and it was really good at first. Everybody was getting along with everybody, and then it kind of went sour after that. I think, you know, when you have roommates, it just kind of happens that way and whatever. So we had to leave. I think at that time, we ended up finding another home, an apartment, but like when we were living like in the living room area. So that can be kind of tough, you know, because you're in like another person's space. You don't even really have a room. So it was kind of hard. So I understand how that went sour. So when we moved out of there, we went to another apartment, but the apartment was a 2-bedroom. So we had our own room and we were kind of sharing everything else. So it was a better situation. So we were good there for a long time. But then it was kind of weird. Like the person that we were staying with, they had it was a male, but he was real cool. He was single. He was from New York. So he was really cool, chilled, down to earth at first. And then I don't know, I guess us both being women, I guess we just started feeling some type of way. Not really feeling some type of way, but yeah, I guess we were, to be honest. I'm a lot more grown now, but at that time I was still really young. But he would bring all these women over. And it was not even the fact that he was bringing all these women over. It was just like there was one girl that at first she was the first one we were introduced to. And it seemed like they were in a full-blown relationship. Like he introduced her as such, and she was the one that was always there. And then, you know, the longer we stood there, the longer we started seeing other girls come over. Not just like just a one-night stand kind of thing. These were like regular girls that it was like coming in and out. So when the original girl would come over, we would feel so bad. Like we were like, does she know? Is she aware that this is happening? Like just naturally my female like things are like, I feel terrible. Because if it was me in that situation, I would want a female to tell me like what's happening. But anyways, that ended up going sour, I think, because of that. And I don't think we left like in a bad way, the way that we did our first situation, but we did, you know, go ahead and separate because we just didn't want to be in that environment anymore, and we didn't want to share apartments with anybody anymore. But when we moved out of that apartment, I actually left Colorado. I left and I went to Pennsylvania, and they left and did their own thing. Basically, we separated. And I was kind of like moving around all over. I was in Pennsylvania, and then I was in New Jersey for a little while, and then I was like back in Pennsylvania, and then from Pennsylvania I moved to Florida. Me moving back to Florida, that was its own story time in itself. But yeah, either way, bottom line is when I moved back to Florida, I was there for like a few months. I want to say like 3 or 5 maybe. But me and the person I was in a relationship in Colorado ended up wanting to get back together. And when we got back together, I was told that we would be moving I would be moving back to Colorado, and we would have our own apartment, you know, we would be, so that the situation could be easier or whatever. So I was like, okay, you know, if you got your stuff figured out, then I feel comfortable going back. When I got back, honey, we were not in our own apartment. We were in, again, somebody else's apartment. We had our own room, but it was still a very uncomfortable situation, especially for me to just kind of like come into, because I don't know these people, I don't know nothing. And I was told that it was only supposed to be temporary. The apartment was coming. That is not what happened at all. That is not what happened at all. The situation that we had in that apartment wasn't working. It wasn't working. So we did leave, but when we left, we ain't have nowhere to go. So ta-da, boom, you're homeless. So when I moved back, I obviously did not have a job. I didn't have any money to get any kind of apartment. I didn't have anything. I was kind of, in a way, depending on that person to take care of me a little bit until I was able to get on my feet, which was what was kind of promised for me to go back over there. Because I was cool. I was in my mama's house. I was cooling. I had found a job. I was like, you know, building myself back up in Florida. And I did enjoy Colorado. I loved Colorado. I still love Colorado. It's just other people kind of ruined Colorado for me. Or I let them ruin Colorado for me. Whatever. But anyways, yeah. So I don't know if what would happen if they lost their job too. I don't kind of remember all of the details. It was a long time ago now, so I don't really remember what happened, but I do know they didn't have a job. I don't know if they started off or again if they got fired. I don't remember. But yeah, we were homeless. Definitely homeless as heck. And thank God we had a car, or thank God she had a car. But still, we were having to pay on the car. The car had a car note. The car had car insurance. We still had to eat. We still had to survive, pay for gas. So yeah, it was tough. So the way that we made money back then, I say back then, like it was the old days. But at that time, there was no Uber Eats. There was no Postmates. There was nothing like that. There was nothing that we could do that wasn't really popular yet. I remember when Postmates I first heard of it. It was like a year or two after that. So we couldn't do anything like that. It's a little bit easier. I'm not gonna say it's easy being homeless, but that would have been really nice for us to have when we were homeless, to be able to like deliver food to people and make some extra money. We didn't have that, and we couldn't do Uber or Lyft because there was 2 of us in a car, and you're not allowed to do that when you drive for Uber or Lyft. So we were kind of stuck. So the only other thing that we could do was, you know, we found ways to make money. Let's just say that. And that brings me into this money that we have here. We sold a lot of things. Sometimes we sold our personal belongings that was just too much to have in the car. Anyways, all of our stuff was like in the car. I had suitcases because I had just moved back from Florida. So I had brought a lot of stuff thinking I was going to go into an apartment. So yeah, one time we sold something for $90. $90 to some homeless people is a lot of money. But when we sold it, it was dark outside, and this is what they gave us. You see that? I still have it. You see why I still have it, right? Because it's fake money. It's fake money. It is fake. They gave us $10 bills that are completely fake. First of all, I wish you guys could feel it. It is so thin. It is so thin, like thinner than anything ever. You could tell that it's like not real. It's like really worn now because I've had it for a long time. But do you see it? I wish I had a $10 bill that I can put next to it, but I don't have any money. It's all in the bank. So if you have a dollar bill, if you see, it's actually it's thinner. It's a lot skinnier than an actual dollar bill. The actual dollar bill, I think, is gonna be like a little bit thicker than this one. So it is terrible. It's a different color than the dollar bill. It's like this yellowy, weird color. $90 that they gave us in all fakes, all fakes. It's pretty legit fakes. Like if you just look at it really quick, like if you're just like, oh, here you go, some money. Like it looks really real. So again, the only way that I found out it was fake is because when I first got it, I don't know why, I was just looking at the money, I was feeling it, and it felt weird. It felt like really, really, really soft, like too soft. And then I was like, I turned the light on and I started looking at it and I was like, wait. I was like, something is off with these. I'm like, why do I feel so uncomfortable? Because I never did that before. I never looked at money before, but it just felt so odd. And then I compared it to another dollar bill and I was like, I don't even think we had another 10. I think I just compared it to another bill and I was like, ew. I was like, these are significantly smaller than any bill that we had. So we even tried to use it in a vending machine just to see if it would take it because we weren't sure. And not even the vending machine. The vending machine wouldn't even take these bills. They were so fake. It was terrible. Living outside is terrible. We didn't have anywhere to bathe. We didn't have anywhere to sleep. So bathing or keeping clean, let's just say homeless hygiene was a task. We basically would go to gas stations and just kind of like clean up a little bit. It was so embarrassing. I mean, after a while, you kind of get numb to the whole thing because you really are just trying to take care of yourself and survive and be healthy because hygiene is you being healthy. So I it ended up just doing what you had to do. But in the beginning, it was definitely a little like, it was hard and it was embarrassing because you had to go to these bathrooms and you had to you were praying that nobody else was in the bathroom with you. Sometimes the sinks were closed, sometimes the sinks weren't closed. It's best for you to either go into a single bathroom, but sometimes those were hard to find. A lot of the gas stations that we like to go to because they were clean had multiple stalls. So it's like you couldn't have a stall to yourself. And then when you did go into one of those stalls, you had to go into the handicap one because it was bigger and it had a sink. Because you need the sink, because you need water, because you need to clean. So you got to do the whole little. Yeah, it was hard. It was hard. Wipes are your best friend, and when you out in the streets, wipes, any kind of wipes, rags, deodorants, they're your friends. They're your friends. They're all your friends. Oh my gosh. I didn't take a shower for like 2 months. I can honestly say that. That is terrible. And I didn't have anybody comfortable enough. Neither one of us had anybody that was close or comfortable enough to us or for us to like go take a shower. Like if I was homeless and I lived around, like there was family I knew in the state, at least I could go take a shower sometimes. No, I didn't have that. We were just out in the streets and we were just doing what we had to do. So, parking was sometimes really hard because it's like there's some places where you can't really like, park overnight, or you can't really stay in your car and sleep, like it's illegal. So finding places to park was hard. Luckily, there was a Walmart that we went to, I can't remember where it was, somewhere in Colorado Springs. We parked there, and it was us and a lot of other people who stood, and we were okay to park there. It was legal. It was funny because a couple years after that, I went to see that they didn't do that anymore. There was people that couldn't park there anymore because they like turned the parking lot into some kind of, they would sell stuff there. I don't know what it was. They were selling cars, or I think they were selling like ironically mobile homes. Like those big RVs. So those people couldn't. So I feel really bad actually, like people who were using that parking lot to sleep and like kind of make a little camp or home there, they're not able, and they had to find somewhere else. So luckily we weren't in that situation anymore, so we didn't have to worry about that. But that's definitely where we stayed. We stayed in the far the parking lot, because the Walmart parking lot is huge. So we would stay all the way in the back of it, in the parking lot with a bunch of other people who were sleeping there too. It was crazy, because sitting, you don't even understand. I was plus size then. I've always been plus size, so I was plus size then. I was a lot smaller than I am now. But even then, sitting in a car for so long, because, you know, we don't have anywhere to go for one. And then we slept in there, so we had to kind of sit down, lay down, because we can only lay down as far as the seat would go back, but pretty much you're still sitting. And then we would work in the car, because we'd have to drive around and we were selling things. So 24/7 almost, you're like in the car until like you go either to go to the bathroom or just to walk around and spread your legs, but it's not a long time because we were trying to make money. So we had to do work as much as possible. So my ankles, I think I talked about it in another video, where my ankles got so swollen. They were swollen, and once they got swollen, they never went down until we actually found an apartment and moved out of the car. So for 2 months, 2 or more months or whatever, we were homeless. My ankles were swollen. Do you know how much that hurts? Some of you probably do, but it hurts so bad. To have any part of your body swollen for such a long period of time, it hurts. And they never recovered. I'm gonna tell you right now, they never recovered from that. They hate me. My ankles hate me so much for what I did to them, and I'm so sorry to you. I'm so sorry. That was hard. It was only me. She didn't have swollen ankles. It was just me. And then I ended up getting a pretty good job, and I saved up enough. But that's how we got out. I got a job. I think I was the one that got a job first, and then while I was working, she was still out doing what we were originally doing. So we were both making money, but I did get a CNA job. And I think it was one of those jobs where I would have to work either overnight or more than like 12-hour shifts, like 24-hour shifts, I think. I can't remember. So if not, I'm sorry. I just can't remember fully. But either way, I was working, when I started working for CNAs, I started working in houses, not like in facilities. I liked working in the houses where we had just like a couple of residents, 10 to 12 residents. So I would be able to shower there. I would be able to eat there. It was so nice. It was like having a home away from our car home. It was really good. It was really nice. So I was really blessed. And again, I made decent money doing that. So I was really able to save in like a month, I think. So the first month, it was just like us doing that. And then I guess another month or like a few weeks, I was able to like just take all of our checks because we weren't really paying that many bills besides the car. So we were able to save a lot of money to get an apartment. And then we got an apartment and we moved into it. It was a rinky-dink apartment. It was like half studio, half 1 bedroom. But it was good. It was mine. I got it. And we were able to shower. We were able to eat. We were able to live normally. But woo. Homelessness is not fun, okay? Being homeless is not fun. I don't recommend it for anyone. Anyone who is in that situation now, I'm sorry. I know that you are a strong person for going through that right now. And you know, it will get better. You just have to be determined to make your situation better. Like I said, we all go through things sometimes, and it's okay. As long as we push through them, they just make us better people. Being homeless, it taught me a lot of things. I met a lot of random people that I learned a lot of different weird stuff from. So not that I regret, I can't say that I regret it. I did have fun at times. You know, you kind of have to make fun of every situation that you're in. It was definitely an experience, and I'm almost glad that I had the experience because it did mold a part of me, I think. It wasn't always an all bad thing. It's definitely a memory that I can save. There's a lot of probably little things that you don't know about me, but I'm sure we'll get to talk about them in videos to come. If anybody has ever gone through anything like that, comment down below. Let's talk about it. If anybody's going through anything like that now, definitely let's talk about it. Maybe I can help you through some things, you know, because again, that was definitely a hard situation, but I got out of it. And again, I don't regret it. Luckily, nothing too bad ever happened to me. We never got any kind of take tickets or never got arrested or anything crazy like that. But we did have some difficulties. So I definitely understand what you are going through. If you like this video, go ahead and like, subscribe, turn on your post notifications so you don't be missing out on this. But I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.